Hey guys, so just as a disclaimer before the video you're about to see starts, I just wanted to let you know that the video was actually filmed months ago. I just never got around to posting it, so I'm really sorry. I know that I said I was hoping that I'd be posting more, and also that I was going to do a series of doll profiles, and then I never did. I did actually start filming, and then I just never posted. So this is the first doll profile in a series that may or may not ever come to fruition. And I also wanted to say that I realized when I rewatched the video that I mentioned that a lot of changes were not going to be happening in my doll family, and that was a lie. So you will be seeing my original doll, my Lati Green Leah, in the video, but I am thinking of reshelling her. So, as an MSD. So, if you have any ideas on sculpts for me, or you see any dolls for sale you think would be suitable for her, please comment them down below. And without further ado, here is the profile on my first doll, my Lati Green Leah, Maddy. Hey guys, Spore here, and I'm here with Maddy, my Lati Green Leah, and I thought that it might be fun, since I haven't been really adding to or taking, or really planning to take away from my collection at all, that I would make some profile videos just kind of detailing to you a little bit more about the dolls I do have, as an update, each doll individually, so you can get to know them a bit better, learn about their sculpts, about the personalities that I have attributed to them, their backstory, and how I came to order them. So I thought it would only be fitting that I started with Maddy, my Lati Green Leah. Her box opening is my very first YouTube video, and she was my very first BJD. How I came to find her was I was researching dolls. I was kind of like looking at photos of dolls on Flickr, and I came across a Lati doll. To this day I don't know what sculpt it was, or what size or anything. I think it was honestly a smaller yellow line doll, but I was very enamored with it, and so I looked up where it came from, and I found the Lati doll website, and so I started looking at their dolls and just started pining over them for like a few months. I was really amazed by their beautiful sculpts and their beautiful face-ups, and so I just really wanted to have one. So without really researching other companies or even really knowing what I was doing, I eventually decided to place an order with Lati doll. That was in January of 2011, so I've had her for 8 years now, and it was quite a long wait for her. She did not arrive until the end of April, so her arrival date, I have to look at this paper because I don't remember exactly what it was. It was April 27th, 2011. So when I got her, I was very shocked. It was like kind of crazy to finally be able to feel what a resin doll was like in my hands. In the time that I was waiting for her, I did find some online resources and start to talk to other people about the dolls, and I kind of learned that there was a whole other world out there, but I had already ordered my first doll, and when I was working on ordering her, I wasn't sure if I was going to get this sculpt, the Leah sculpt, or the Coco sculpt, which has a great big smile. It's very different than this doll, and so I am so glad I did go with her. And I was also thinking about getting either a yellow or a white, because I really didn't understand that much about the sizes, and I didn't have anything to compare to. I was basically just like measuring Barbies and measuring other types of dolls to kind of get an idea of the height, but like the thickness and the girth and just the overall shape, you really can't understand until you have one of these dolls in your hands. So I'm really glad I didn't go with a smaller doll. I was thinking about it basically because of money. Like I thought, oh, it's just less money, so why wouldn't I go with this doll? And then this size was only a little bit more, so I ended up going with it. And I'm really glad I did, because tinies are not my favorite dolls. Now that I have had tons of experience with BHADs and I have lots of dolls of my own, I prefer the larger dolls. So she is my only OSD that I still have, and I am a little iffy about her. It's really a size that I don't love now that I've had lots of dolls. But I just can't give her up because she is my first doll. So you can see she is in the normal skin, but she has gotten a bit yellow over time, over the 8 years I've had her, and she still has her company face up. But I have replaced the eyelashes because they did get kind of crushed over time, and I carried her around with me a lot when I first got her, so she's been around with me. She does have double jointed arms and knees, which are nice, but her body is one giant hard resin piece, as opposed to usually you would get a doll with maybe 2 pieces and it's hollowed out, but she is actually solid. She's quite heavy, and she has an O-ring in her head, so it did make for restringing. It made my first restringing experiences very difficult, because I did need to use a string puller to try to get that string through the tiny holes drilled in her body, and it was kind of a nightmare. She still is not strung the most tightly, but I did suede her joints, so she can pose all right, but it's very different than what I was expecting, for sure. So her box opening is my very first YouTube video. If you want to go back and check that out. I was very young and very confused, and my now brother-in-law and his current girlfriend at the time, they've since broken up, but they filmed it, and so you can kind of hear them talking in the background, and they were hilarious because she was bald and naked, and they were making a big deal out of it, so it's really funny. So when I got this doll, I really didn't have a character for her. I basically bought her because she looked pretty. And in the time that I was waiting for her, once I started learning about other companies, I had put my second doll already on order, who was my Slinky Neko. I know what I'm talking about. My Slinky Neko Junior Bori. And when I got her, I could not stand her body. It was even worse than this one. So I have that box opening, as that was one of my second videos, I believe. But I still have that head sculpt, and she is Maddy's sister. So Maddy, over time, the only ideas that I originally had for her was that her name was going to be Madison, and that I was going to shorten it to Maddy, and she was going to have a sister named Nora, who is my MSD, and that was it. So I would just take photos of them together. I kind of dressed them similarly. They both used to have long, brown, wavy hair, which of course has changed for her. Once I got this mohair wig, there was no turning back. It is so soft and I love it. But once I got this wig from Lati, it kind of opened up her personality for me. I decided that she was going to be a child prodigy / mad scientist. So she's supposed to be around 10 years old. Mud is very smart and advanced for her age and is into robotics. So I had this little Yoasty size lab coat made for her, which is really, really quite sweet. And I did have sailor outfits made for her and a couple of my first MSDs as well, because they were supposed to be like school students. But I've since sold those off because I honestly just never put them in it. So a couple of my other dolls are supposed to be her creations. They're Android dolls, but in future videos you'll get to know them. And for now we're focusing on Maddy, my 10-year-old child prodigy, mad scientist, genius girl, who ended up creating a whole story for me, and kind of building a world for most of my dolls. So almost every single one of the dolls that I have now are part of Maddy's worlds, and it all expanded from her. So I'm very thankful that I got her, and this hobby ended up being meant to be for me. I'm really glad I encountered it, and even though my start in the hobby was a little sloppy, that's totally fine, because it ended up great, and I've had a lot of fun, and a lot of other dolls have come into my life, and a lot of people have come into my life from this hobby, so everything has been great. So that's Maddy. Once again, she is a Lati green. She's a grown-up Leah sculpt. She's 30 centimeters tall. She is in the normal skin with the default face up, and her body is one solid androgynous resin piece. I think they did use the same bodies for the male and females. So she could be a boy if she wants to be. And I have seen Leah's as a boys, and they're very cute. So that's it about her. I hope you enjoyed this little profile. Maybe you knew all of this about her already if you've been following me for a very long time, but she, like I said, she is 8 years old now, so not a lot has changed. Her character has stayed the same and everything. So that's all about Maddy. Thank you for watching, and please tune in. Hopefully I will be able to get some of those other profiles out soon. Let me know if you like this idea, and if you would like to do the same thing as well, seriously, go for it. I kind of have been getting some of my ideas from like the pet community because I'm really into reptiles now, and they do like reptile profiles, so this is a dolly profile. Anyway, alright guys, take care. Have a good one.